Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. Bitter cold, screaming winds. March came in less like a lion and more like a polar bear.
Those extreme temperatures putting life and limb in danger. This cold snap overstaying its welcome as it rounds out a month in our region.
Chief forecaster Bob McGuire busy in the Weather Center this afternoon. Bob, this weekend was certainly one for the record books.
Oh, it certainly was, especially this morning. What we did was we're going to show you what some of the records are and how close we came to it. These were the records this morning. As of today, these were the record low temperatures. And you'll notice we had a lot of 20s and 30s below zero. Now let me show you our reported overnight lows. And as you can see here, they were very chilly. Wherever you see a blue star, that means we have a brand new record like at Kalispell, Great Falls, Helena, Butte, Dillon, Bozeman had one, Livingston, here in Billings, we tied the record. That was set in 1989. And in Sheridan, we tied it also there. That was set in 1923. So it was a very cold night last night. Tonight, it's not going to be nearly as cold. Here in Billings, we're going down to about 4 below zero. The coldest place we'll see tonight is up by Cutbank, expected to be about 13 below, and also by Great Falls, about 14 below. We'll see what happens. We'll have the rest of your forecast in a few more minutes.
Wow, thanks so much, Bob.
Well, these extreme temperatures also wreaking havoc on a city water main in downtown Billings today, shutting down travel through that area.
Now, the break happened at about 7:30 this morning at the intersection of North 17th Street and 2nd Avenue North. Water flowed from 17th Street all the way down to North 13th, covering both 2nd Avenue and even pouring over onto 1st. 2nd Avenue North was closed from 17th to North 16th while crews made repairs.
Billings Public Works Supervisor Todd Laz said that water even spilled over to 1st Avenue North. Crews had that main fixed and the road reopened around 5 o'clock tonight. Union refinery workers at Billings ExxonMobil voting on a new deal today after a tentative agreement was reached over the weekend. Around 140 United Steelworkers members at the Billings refinery are affected. The two sides have been negotiating for more than a month after workers rejected an offer. Exxon made some key revisions in this latest agreement, which the company calls its best and final offer. Those include grandfathering pay rates for senior operators, clarifying timing of changing shift teams, and adding language to discuss situations where employees could lose pay or because they're not allowed to bid for higher paying posts. And we'll let you know what was decided.
Westmoreland Coal Company now has the green light to sell its assets, including the mine that feeds the Colstrip power plants. This all part of the company's Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings. The company expects to complete transactions associated with its financial restructuring by the end of March, which marks the end of the first quarter. However, this is not necessarily a dark spot for Colstrip because the new owners of the Rosebud mine say they will continue to sell to Colstrip through 2019. Westmoreland Coal filed for bankruptcy in October of 2018.
Billings police investigating the death of a 41-year-old woman. That woman was found at an apartment on North 24th Street. Officers responded Saturday night just after 7. Now, we have limited details, but those with Billings police say there are no other details being released until tomorrow. Officers wouldn't say if the matter was criminal or not. However, they did say that they are investigating, and we'll let you know when we do find out more.
Make America Great Again, the slogan that helped Donald Trump capture the White House. Well, catchy political slogans are nothing new on the American political scene, as the perfect political slogan can mean the difference between victory and defeat at the ballot box.
Well, tonight, Jay Cohn brings us an intriguing story from Montana's political past, how a catchphrase from the 1968 Montana governor's race stopped a statewide sales tax in its tracks.
Most Montanans know that we don't have a state sales tax, but few know why. For more than half a century, the state legislature has flirted with the idea of a general sales tax. In fact, twice it was put on the ballot for a vote of the people, and twice it was soundly rejected. That outcome so decisive that even to this very day, the idea of a general sales tax is pretty much dead on arrival in Montana. 83-year-old Jim Graff has been at the heart of many ad campaigns over the years.
Layout, design, and sales.
His marketing career has included stints with the Billings Gazette and most recently Campgrounds of America. Back in 1968, Graff was working at Sage Advertising in Helena when he suddenly found himself talking with Democratic Attorney General Forrest Anderson.
He says, well, I've made my mind up. I'm going to run for governor. And I said, well, we'd like to help you out and make it happen. We played up the fact that he was a good-looking guy. He looked like up close, he looked like a movie star.
Still, though, Anderson found himself the underdog in the race against incumbent Governor Tim Babcock. Just a few months earlier, faced with a looming budget shortfall, Babcock had proposed that the legislature enact a 2% general sales tax. And although that sales tax bill failed, the topic remained the hot issue of the day. Anderson wanted to make it clear to voters where he stood.
Leadership to develop state revenues from the present tax structure through increased economic growth.
We need less state government and a better administration for the taxpayer dollar.
Anderson's campaign also needed a catchy slogan. Babcock was using "Win with Tim," and Graff knew he had his work cut out for him.
It just came right out of my head, but here it was right in front of me, 4 words, pay more, what for?
It definitely had all the makings of a great campaign slogan: short, sweet, to the point, and it rhymed.
While our taxes soar, we ask, pay more, what more?
It hits at the heart of Tim's campaign. I knew that we had a winner, but I'm not a salesman by any aspects, and I wasn't sure that I could sell that to Forrest. But he says, Jim, he says, you do what you and Bob think need to be done to win, for me to win this thing. And if you think you've got a catchy slogan, you go ahead and do it.
Pay more, what for left its mark. Babcock's campaign could not distance itself from the issue, and Forrest Anderson swept to victory, upsetting the incumbent governor by a stunning 14 points. To this day, it's the last time a sitting governor was defeated in Montana. In his biography, Babcock acknowledged that his support for the sales tax cost him the election, and in his words, quote, ended my political career as such. 2 years later, the state's ongoing funding woes had the sales tax issue front and center again. And after struggling through no less than 3 special sessions, state lawmakers decided to put the issue on the ballot for a vote of the people. Was the outcome a foregone conclusion? That part of our story tomorrow night. In Billings, Jay Cohn, MTN News.
The power of the political slogan. Thanks so much, Jay.
And we'll look forward to Jay's piece tomorrow and a few more months free of political ads.
Yes. In other news tonight, St. Vincent Healthcare earning some awards from a national online care company. In a recent survey, Healthgrades lists St. Vincent as one of the top 250 hospitals in the country. The hospital also earning multiple other awards for different care specialties. Healthgrades says it analyzes more than 4,500 hospitals and looks only at clinical outcomes. Some of the standout awards at St. Vincent include spine surgeries and critical care.
Not only can you receive just about every service right here, the quality of that care is amongst the very best in the nation. So I think the community should feel very good about the quality of care that's received here at St. Vincent and in the Billings community.
Now, for more information on their other awards, you can find this story at ktvq.com.
Coming up on tonight's 5:30 News, it's been a decade since an explosion rocked downtown Bozeman to its core. We're going to look back on that historic time.
And later in sports, the Billings High School team is celebrating a national championship. Scott, here's from them.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.